Hey guys, I'm Jacqueline,
Marcella?
and we are here to talk about all of our thoughts on A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas.
Yes. We have a lot to talk about because it's a huge book, like 800 pages huge.
It is a monster book, and I read it in 3 days. Actually, I think I read it probably mostly in 2 days. It was very, very fast to read. It was very, like I just once like those really exciting books that you're waiting for come out, they're just very easy to like tear into, and that happens with Cassandra Clare books too. Like once an anticipated book is there, it's very fast.
Yeah, Sarah J. Maas is just one of those authors.
And this was one that we've been anticipating for a very, very long time. We've been a fan of Sarah J. Maas for a very, very long time. We've been a fan of hers since, like, I remember we went to the launch party for A Court of Thorns and Roses. So, like,
Yes, we did.
we read them as they came out. So, I remember we got like the announcement, like, oh my God, it's gonna be another 3 books. They're writing like the Nesta Cassian book, and we were just like so excited for it. And then we had to wait like 3 years. So
Yep, so this book has been a long time coming.
we're gonna talk non-spoilers. There's gonna be like the non-spoiler video. Then we're gonna do another video where we really go into like all like the little things that happened and all of everything.
Everything, yep. So if you haven't read the book yet, you're okay to stay and watch this whole video, but the next video, the one that has spoilers in it, obviously you can't watch unless you finish the whole book, unless you want to get spoiled, which I don't think you want to because this book's amazing, so you want to go read it on your own.
Yeah. I know like some people are saying because technically it's like the original trilogy and this is like a spin-off because she's doing like the next few books are going to be like individual like each couple. Like this one is Nesta Cassian and then we don't really know who the next book is. I mean, I think we have an idea of who it is, but we're not 100% sure. So,
Yeah, we can kind of just speculate, but nothing's been confirmed.
but I do think that you want to read the original trilogy before reading this because it's just more fun to have that world already in place and to know all of like the other characters and to just I don't know, like all like the little mentions and stuff of things that happened in A Court of Wings and Ruin. You kind of want to be there I mean, I feel like if you really, really don't feel like reading the other books in the series, I guess you're okay because the plot is it's kind of different from the other one, but it's
Yeah,
kind of
but
the aftermath.
I feel like it's important to read the other books so that you know the characters already, like the other
Yeah.
characters. Like I guess you really could get away with not doing it, but it would not be as like
I don't think it'd be as
it wouldn't be as emotional. I don't know, it wouldn't be as fun.
I think what's so amazing in this book was watching Nesta's journey because she is such a hated character from the very beginning, like from like the first book, like you hate her and she's such a bitch and she's so nasty and you're just kind of like okay. And then things start to happen. Like I think once you really understand her trauma and everything that they go through in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series and the flashbacks we get in it of Nesta, you really watch her grow and you watch her develop and you root for her. And she honestly became like one of my favorite characters from Sarah J. Maas. Honestly, like she's right up there with like Aelin and Feyre for me. Like I am just like I love her so much, and I love Cassian. Like this book, you guys gave it 5 stars. Like if I can give it more than that, I would have.
Yeah, definitely. Her development was by far like the best that I've read in a very, very long time. Like when I first started the book, I did not think that I would like her at all.
I felt like I resonated so much with Nesta, and I resonated so much with her, the way that she would handle grief and the way that she handled bad things happening and people being mean to her. Like she would lash out and she would be nasty to people, and there was like an undercurrent of emotions that were fluttering through that because then she'd feel this self-loathing, and
Mm.
I think like the guilt and the trauma, the PTSD, like everything is in here. There's even like this is a really good story about mental health and like the mental health journey that you can go on through it and getting to the other side, and you watch her struggle and you watch her become really strong by the end of it. So I think it's a really important story. It reminded me a lot of Air of Fire mixed with Court of Mist and Fury. It was
Mhm.
kind of like we watch this broken character just like rise up, and through all of her relationships that she makes and through friendship and through love and through there's like such an empowerment to it. It was such a powerful story to read, and there were so many moments that I was crying reading this book. There were so many moments where I was like cheering, and like it just touched me so much, and I could literally get so emotional like just talking about certain scenes in this book now because it was just that powerful.
Yeah, it's definitely very character driven, not
Yeah.
so much plot driven. So I will say like it focuses mostly on Nesta, her relationships with everybody, her personal development, like overcoming that and growing from everything that she's been through. Obviously there's still things going on in the plot,
Mhm.
but I feel like it's not as like upfront as like Nesta and like her journey and all that.
Yeah, I think definitely that this was like there's stuff going that's going to lead into the next book. Like there's kind of like a backdrop of plot going.
Yeah.
And then but this was so focused, and I think it was so necessary. Like it was so important that we got there's a lot of training scenes in this book, and I think each one was so important because it really shows like the character relationships, and that's such a it's a reason why you care so much about the plot, you know? I think that's so important
Mhm.
to love all the characters so that way when shit hits the fan, you're just freaking out.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I feel like Nesta as like like that was some like a character that we needed to get all that development because if she had like rushed that throughout the book and put more plot in there, I feel like we wouldn't have like understood her character as much and grew to really like her like throughout the book and understand her and resonate with her and all of that. So if like it definitely needed to be more character driven. Like Sarah did really good with that.
Oh my gosh, she did such a great job. Like and it's such an important journey. Like I feel like I know I was able to relate to it very heavily, and I know a lot of other people as well are really able to relate so much to this book. And even if you aren't dealing with like mental health issues, I think you'll still find something in it where you relate to it, and where you're
Mhm.
reading like her thoughts and you're just like, "Oh my god, like I've thought those same things too." And it's just so powerful like that. And I know at the end of the book and like her acknowledgments and in interviews, Sarah J. Maas did talk about how she went on her own mental health journey. And I think you could really see that. Like, it's very raw. It's very emotional. It's very raw. And I'm just like so like I was like crying in happiness like by the end of this book. Like it's that kind of book where you're just so invested in that emotional arc that
Mhm.
when you get there, it's just such an amazing feeling to come out of this the way that we come out of this book.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we've read her YA books and we have yet to read Crescent City. And it is a crime that we have not read Crescent City. I swear. I feel so guilty that I have not read that book yet because we need to. Um, but and when we do, we'll do a review for Crescent City. Like I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
we'll
definitely.
definitely do a review for that. But so we went from her YA to like I guess her new adults because I think A Court of Mist and Fury is technically considered new adult. This is her first technical adult journey I think of this series. Like I think now even with like the new covers, like we are now in adult territory and we see that there's a lot of cursing in here. The sex scenes are extremely explicit. Like Sarah J. Maas really
Yeah, so will
she
say, if you have not yet read it and you're just watching this to see if you'd be interested in it or like just as like a to get hyped up to read it or whatever. Um, if you don't like reading scenes that are sexual or like you don't read like reading smut at all, this book's definitely not for you. This is a very smutty book.
Yes,
Very.
like a lot, and I think it's so perfect for the characters though because like Cassian and Nesta had such a enemies to lovers arc, so it's so
It was
perfect.
perfect. Their relationship, it was
Okay.
yeah, the scenes were like they were great. But
Time.
um will
Time.
say that if that's not something that you enjoy, then just think twice about reading it. Um but I mean, why? It's amazing. Like those
No,
scenes
it
are
is
great.
so great. It's amazing. And I felt so happy for her too because you feel like it must have been so fun and freeing for her to write because she's not confined to saying like the lines of like, oh, Cassian swore at her. Like, no,
Hmm.
he was able to write like, no, fuck you. Like she was able to bring in all those swear words and it fits the world and it fits the characters more, I think. And I
Yeah, she definitely didn't have to hold back at all in that sense, which
yeah,
was
like
really
she
nice.
didn't hold back, and that
Yeah.
was something you could notice in this. Like she just went full steam ahead, like right out there, and it
It's
was
very suitable for her readers too, because we're all older. Like
exactly,
it it fits.
exactly, exactly. It fits her better, I think. Like we love the Throne of Glass series, you guys. Like we love all like her YA stuff, and we do read YA still. But I think her venturing into the adult territory, it was just so freeing because it's just like put it all out there. We're all here. It's very hard for me to say if it's my favorite Sarah J. Maas book because I love the Throne of Glass books and I love the other books. Like I love A Court of Mist and Fury so much. But this is up there, you guys. And I still haven't read
Mhm.
Crescent City. So like I don't know if it's fair to say it's my favorite Sarah J. Maas book. But I mean, it's
It's
up
amazingly written.
so amazingly written and her talent is just so great and it's so raw and her writing is just so beautiful and there's also great messages throughout the story like I felt like there were so many empowering moments and there's a lot of really great female friendships which I loved. I
Mhm.
loved all the friendship moments in this as well. Like yeah, the romance is great, the romance is wonderful to read, but I think there was something about the friendships that really like pull at your heart as you read it.
Definitely, yeah.
There's a lot of really great side characters. Like you're gonna meet really awesome side characters in this book, and those characters were also really stand out. And I was really proud of them as well because they also go on their own journey too. And even Cassian develops so much. And yeah, and you see Reese and you see Feyre, and they're going through
Mhm.
their own issues too. And that's a huge part of the plot. So it's not like yes, it's a huge like we're in one bubble technically. We're in like Nesta, Cassian mostly. Like it's mostly like their point of views that we get, but you also see the other characters and you see everybody else from the Night Court and it's just a really special book and I feel like everybody needs to read it because it's such an important story and yes, it is amazing.
Yep, that's really all we could say though, non-spoilery, without giving away anything too big.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like now I'm kind of like now we want to get into like the real part of like the plot, like the things that are going on, and I don't want to
yeah.
spoil that part on you because I just feel like that's something that you guys need to discover and just go forth now with knowing what you know.
Yep. So we hope that that interests you. So go read it, and then you can come back and watch our other video where we're gonna talk all about spoilers.
Definitely, you guys could go check it out, and we will be doing more book oriented videos. I know, like, we talked about that. We want to do a lot of more book videos, especially Chain of Iron is coming out like next week, and we are dying for that, like, itching for that to come out. We've already pre ordered our copies for that. Yeah, so you'll see a review about that as well. And I think we want to start doing we do have a book club in the works that we want to start doing where we'll like review a book like monthly that you guys will be reading too and
Yep,
yeah.
we're very excited about that. If you have any requests for other book videos that you'd like to see in the future, leave that down in the comments below. And
Yeah. And
yeah,
we hope you guys enjoy the book if you have not yet read it. And if you have read it, we hope you guys go watch our other video where we are gonna talk about all the little details that happened in it.
yes.
So yes, thank you for
Thank
watching.
you for watching. Bye.